Hi there, my name is Dana. I'm an orthopedic physical therapist. What I'm going to show you in this video is a core workout for beginner level runners. So it's important to have a strong center when you're starting on your running journey. So these exercises will help you build the foundation for good core strength and stability. So you're going to meet me on your back when you're ready. And what I want you to do from here is engage the deep abdominal muscles. So you're going to do that in a 3-step contraction. The first thing you're going to do is pull your belly button down to the ground without driving your weight through your heels. So you're going to pull the belly button in, and then I want you to think about drawing your lower ribs together by using those deep muscles in your stomach. You're going to hold those muscles engaged as well. And then the third step is trying to pull your hip rims together. So you're the front of your hip bones or your pelvis. You're going to try to suck those in so everything is coming towards midline of your body. Okay, now that you're engaged, let's just hang out here a minute so you get familiar with the muscles and hold that contraction, and you should be able to breathe normally when you're doing this. So sometimes it's hard to dissociate the diaphragm, which is your primary breathing muscle, from the abdominal muscles, but as you practice, your neuromuscular system will learn how to do that. Good, take a break and let's go into that position again. So no pressure through your heels. You're going to pull the belly button towards your spine, your lower ribs together, and your hip bones together. All right, and let's hang out here a few seconds. Breathe normally, and then release. You're going to do that again, and we're going to build on that movement. So you're going to hold those 3 contractions, the belly button, ribs, and hip bones together. And if that's enough for you, you stay there. But if you're feeling confident and like you have that contraction, you're going to march one leg up and down, and then the other leg up and down. And you're just going to go in a nice controlled motion just like that. And there should be no movement through your spine. When you engage your abdominal muscles, the spine will stay nice and stable. That protects it from injury. Good, keep going, you're doing great. And again, if the marching's too much, just practice contracting, taking a couple breaths, and then releasing. We're gonna do 4 more on each side, and then we're gonna build on it a little bit more. Good, and the movements always should be nice and slow. Working your core like this is about control. 1 more. Okay, now take a little break. You can release the contraction. And the next one you're going to do is you're going to bring one leg up like you're marching, and then you're just going to extend it a little bit. And the amount you extend it depends on how comfortable you feel, and you should never have your back arch off of the ground. So if you extend and your back is coming up, just don't extend quite as far. If you extend higher towards the sky, that's a little bit easier. Lower to the ground's a little bit harder. So go ahead and let's hold that contraction in those 3 steps, and let's start with your right leg. You're going to bring it up and then extend and back up to what is called a tabletop position, and that is just where your hip and your knee are both bent to 90 degrees. You don't want on the return your knee to come too close to your chest. That makes it a little bit too easy. We want the challenge of holding the tabletop position the whole time. Good. We're going to do 5 more on this side. And remember, if you go higher towards the sky, it's a little easier. Lower to the ground, it's a little bit harder. Or you don't have to extend your leg quite so far. Okay, give me 1 more here. Actually, let's do 1 more. I kind of lost count, so we want to not cheat ourselves. Okay, and then let's switch over to the other side, up to tabletop position. Very good. And you find the level that works for you, but make sure you're not letting your back pull into an arched position. If you are, just take it back a notch and build up to this. And then there's so many ways to advance core work as you get stronger, by moving both legs, by holding both up in tabletop. So it's a really nice progression, and that when you're ready, you can move through more challenging exercises and can have a challenge, to a very advanced level. Let's do 1 more. Nice. Now we're going to give those deep abdominals a break, and we're going to go into some bridge work. So what I want you to do is bend your knees not the whole way towards your butt. You want to kind of come out so there's a few inches between your butt and the back of your heels. I'm going to have you just sink your heels into the ground more so than the front of your foot. There should not be a lot of pressure through the ball of your foot here. From this position, you're going to squeeze your glutes, which are your butt muscles, and you're going to think about lifting your pelvis straight up towards the ceiling, okay, or towards the sky, since I'm outside on this gorgeous day. And you don't want one side of the pelvis to drop or the other. Everything should rise, centered, pause a second, and then lower back down. And I have my hands on my hip bones here, so I know I'm lifting both at the same time. I don't feel one dropping or the other. The whole time I'm doing this, we're just going to raise and lower at a comfortable pace. When I lift, I'm thinking about engaging my glutes, and I keep them engaged even when I lower. So I'm not just letting gravity pull me back down to the ground. You want to stay in a pain-free range of motion, so you don't really want to drive your hips too high and cause your back to extend too much. Then you're just locking your back out and you're losing the muscle contraction. Good. And this is a great way to activate your glutes and your hamstrings, which are very important to strengthen when you're running. We're going to do 3 more, and then we're going to change the position slightly. This is one of my favorite exercises. Perfect. Now what you're going to do is bring your feet together, and you're actually going to press kind of the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall open a little bit. Now from here, you're going to keep pressure through your feet. They're just angled in a little, and you're going to press your heels together, squeeze your butt, and lift up into a bridge in this position. So you're still thinking about using your glutes, but when you squeeze your heels together, it activates a little bit more of the glutes on the side of your hip, and that part of your glutes called your gluteus medius. And that muscle is very important for pelvic stability when you run. Good. And we're going to do 5 more here, just a nice comfortable pace. And if you're more comfortable with your hands down by your side, that's fine. Make sure you're breathing when you do these. 2 more. 1 more. Great. Now we're going to go back to those abdominal contractions, and this time what you're going to do is bring one leg into tabletop, and you're going to put your hand on your thigh of the leg that's raised, and you're going to do what's called an isometric, which is activating your muscle without moving through any range of motion. So you're going to press your leg into your hand with equal pressure, your hand going into your leg. So the first thing you're doing is pulling in the stomach by those 3 points of contraction: belly button, ribs, and hips. Bring one leg up to tabletop, hand on your hip, and you're going to press and you're going to hold. We're going to hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down, tap your foot, come back up to the same side. We're going to do 4 of these on each side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Back down. Again, up and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back down. Don't lose your stomach contraction. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. Good. Keep the stomach contraction going. Hold and press with the other leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down. Keep those core muscles really engaged and fired up. 3, 4, 5. 2 more. Back down. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last one, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Now we're going to move on to our last exercise, which is called clamshells. So you're going to roll onto your side. You can either prop up on your elbow, make sure you're not sagging into your shoulder, so you're keeping good stability there, or you can just lay down on your side or prop your head up, whatever feels good. You just want to make sure your back is nice and straight. The soles of your feet are in line with your back. From here, the movement is opening your top knee up like a clam, opening its shell, but you need to make sure your pelvis is staying forward. So you don't want your pelvis to roll back at all. everything should stay forward, and you do that by keeping the belly button towards your spine and keeping your core muscles nice and engaged. So let's start rotating up the top knee and back down. We're going to just do a nice range of motion here. Again, not so much that you're throwing your pelvis back, and everybody has a different range of motion in your hips, so you might only go half the distance I'm going, and that's just fine. You do what you can do. We're going to do 5 more, and then we're going to just vary the way we're moving a little bit. Good. Let's go for 2 more. Belly button in, nice and still through the pelvis. Okay, now this time we're going to go to the halfway point of your motion, and from there we're just going to go to your end range. So we're just going to go down halfway and up. Good. And this works the gluteus medius, but also deep hip rotators, which are muscles that are in your butt area, but deep to your glute. And they're very important muscles to help stabilize your femur, which is your upper leg bone, while you're running. So when your foot hits the ground, you have good stability in the femur, so it's not wobbling back and forth. Good. Let's do 2 more. Just that half range of motion at the end. Okay, and I bet you know what's coming. We're going to go through the other part of the range of motion. So start down and just move up halfway. Good. So we're getting all those rotators in there. Good. You're doing great. Let's do 5 more, and then we have the other side, and then you're done. All right, let's flip it around and get yourself in good position. So remember, soles of your feet in line with your back, and you're gonna stay propped up however you're comfortable. I'm gonna stay up on this side. Pull the belly button in, and let's go through your full range of motion for 10. And this is a really good workout to try to incorporate about 3 times a week as you're starting your running journey, or maybe going outside for some long walks or power walking. You want to start building the core. And if you do 3 times a week for a few weeks, you're going to feel so much stronger pretty quickly, and you're going to be able to move on to some more advanced workouts. 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, now we're going to go through the end range. So find your halfway point, and then just let's go up to the top. Good, nice and controlled through your stomach muscles. Move just what your hip will allow you to do. That's it. One more. Okay, now go down. Close your knees the whole way and just find that first half of your range of motion for 10 reps. That's number 2. You're getting there. All right. And last one. All right, you did it. Very good. Thank you so much for joining me and taking this time to work your core. It's going to do you a world of good as you progress through your running journey. Now get out there and have some fun as you hit the road. Thanks so much.